Have you ever found yourself wishing you could shed your human skin for a while? To truly embody something completely different, say, the keen perception of a clever corvid, soaring over a world of your own making, making choices that shape your very destiny from a unique, feathered perspective.
Mhm.
If that thought sparks even a flicker of curiosity, then welcome to the Uncanny Valley podcast.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're embarking on a really unique exploration into a fascinating tabletop experience. Be Like a Crow, a solo RPG.
Yeah, this one's special.
And this isn't just about, rolling dice or moving pieces. It's really about unlocking your own deep-seated creativity, exploring entirely new perspectives, and literally crafting your own sprawling narrative. And it's all guided by this surprisingly simple system.
Exactly. And to guide us through this adventure, we've been diving deep into the rulebook for Be Like a Crow, which is published by Critical Kit Ltd. It's a solo role-playing game where, well, you don't just control a character, you become a member of the corvid family.
Become the crow.
Right, so we'll be dissecting its core concepts, its clever mechanics, and the incredibly vibrant, often surprising worlds it allows you to create. Think of it as a shortcut, maybe, to understanding what makes this game tick, its surprising depth, and why it might just be your next favorite creative outlet.
Okay, so let's unpack this first bit. When many people hear RPG or role-playing game, they often picture, a group of friends gathered around a table, dice clattering everywhere, maybe a dungeon master weaving some epic tale.
A classic image, yeah.
But Be Like a Crow introduces us to a different, equally rich, and maybe even more personal experience, the solo RPG. So at its core, a solo RPG is designed specifically for one player. It's not about playing with others. It's about playing as a single character and driving your own story. Your own imagination is basically the entire cast and crew of your unfolding drama.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how Be Like a Crow doesn't just embrace that solo concept. It fundamentally redefines it in some ways. It's a game of profound storytelling and unbridled creativity where you truly take on the role of a corvid.
Right.
You're not just moving a pawn around. You're experiencing the world through their keen eyes and sharp beak, making decisions from their distinct, non-human perspective. This encourages a level of immersive empathy and creative freedom that's actually quite rare, even in the wider world of tabletop role-playing games.
And the how of this unique storytelling, it's ingeniously simple. The game guides you using a series of writing prompts that sort of steer your adventures. You're constantly recording your experiences, journaling every discovery, every encounter, every choice, building a bigger, more complex story as you go. It's almost like you're collaboratively writing a novel with the game itself, where the plot points are semi-randomly generated, which keeps things fresh and unpredictable.
That journaling aspect is absolutely central, but what's truly liberating is the flexibility the game offers in how you document your adventures. The source material lists a whole spectrum of methods. You can go old school with a pen and a physical journal, which is nice, or embrace digital with a word processor like Google Docs. For those who want to share their saga, a blog or social media account is an option. Then there are the more, let's say, unconventional choices.
Oh.
You could use a spreadsheet, though the author does wryly ask, "What kind of monster are you?" which made me chuckle.
Okay.
For the truly hardcore, the back of a napkin is mentioned as an option, which is both hilarious and surprisingly fitting for a nimble crow, maybe.
Totally.
And if you're feeling really ambitious, you could even try sequential art, essentially creating your own comic book. The author specifically salutes anyone who takes that route.
As I was reading this, something really struck me as particularly clever about the game's philosophy. It says, there is no wrong way to play it so long as you are fulfilling those two criteria, getting creative and having fun.
Right, that's key.
And this isn't just a friendly suggestion. It feels like a profound statement on modern game design that challenges that traditional DM as God paradigm, It empowers you, the player, to become the ultimate arbiter of fun and narrative truth. It creates this truly personal, unconstrained experience that's quite rare in TTRPGs.
Indeed, and it's not just theoretical. The author himself offers a prime example of this creative engagement. He live streams his own sessions on Twitch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It really highlights how versatile and adaptable the solo RPG experience can be, transforming what might seem like a solitary activity into a shared performative one if you choose. This game truly puts the power of narrative creation squarely in your hands, inviting you to become both player and narrator, with complete freedom to follow your muse.
Okay, so Once you grasp the core idea of a solo RPG, Be Like a Crow immediately asks you to make a fundamental choice. This choice shapes your entire adventure. What kind of corvid will you be? This is your character creation moment, right? Where you choose a specific corvid species and the unique setting they'll inhabit.
Right. And just to clarify, corvid refers to a member of the passerine bird family, Corvidae. It's a really diverse family, including the intelligent crows we all know, the distinctive magpies and jays, and of course the imposing raven, the gregarious rook, and the nimble jackdaw.
Okay.
Each of these species brings its own set of strengths and weaknesses, its own sort of personality, and its own way of interacting with the world. It offers a truly unique lens through which you view your world.
And that choice isn't just cosmetic, is it? It deeply impacts your gameplay. Each species comes with different abilities and characteristics that influence how you approach challenges, what skills you excel at, and even how other creatures might perceive you. It's a vital initial decision, giving you an immediate hook into the identity of your avian avatar. Let's maybe dig into these options, see what sets them apart in the game.
Absolutely. First up, we have the carrion crow, Corvus coron. This is your classic all-black crow, renowned for being one of the most intelligent and adaptable members of the corvid family.
The archetypal crow.
Pretty much. They're a medium-sized bird, but don't let that fool you. They're incredibly hardy and exceptional problem solvers, though they do tend to be a bit wary of others. Their diet is incredibly varied. Carrion, insects, worms, seeds, fruit, eggs, any scraps they can find. They thrive in diverse environments, from woodlands to bustling urban centers.
What's particularly compelling about their characteristics, reading the description, is that while they often avoid social contact, they can be absolutely fearless when it comes to food. They'll even venture into busy urban areas for sustenance.
Right, very bold when hungry.
And their nests are often a real patchwork, aren't they? A mishmash of twigs, rags, bones, whatever else they can scavenge. Mechanically, the carrion crow is explicitly described as intelligent and resilient. This translates to a significant in-game advantage. Anytime you make a check using skills in the tools and rituals category, you can do so with authority.
Which is a big deal. Authority means you draw 2 cards for your attempt score and use the highest value, greatly increasing your chances of success. And they also gain consistent skill improvements in key areas like navigating, searching for objects, using tools, pecking in combat, and scaring off threats. Makes them incredibly self-sufficient and resourceful adventurers.
Okay, makes sense. Who's next?
Next, we have the magpie, Pika Pika. This is perhaps the most visually distinctive corvid, with their striking black and white plumage that, upon closer inspection, shimmers with hints of purple, blue, and green iridescence, especially in their tail feathers.
Yeah, beautiful birds.
They really are. They're often considered a jack of all trades, versatile and cunning, and generally smaller than crows. Their nests are pretty complex too, multi-level dome-shaped structures, often built high in trees or thorny bushes. Shows off their engineering prowess, really.
And magpies are omnivores and scavengers, willing to try anything as a potential meal. And interestingly, contrary to common folklore, the source clarifies they are not actually thieves.
No shiny object hoarding, apparently.
Why? Though they certainly enjoy playing on those legends. They are skilled in many things and possess a certain arrogance in their demeanor. They tend to live in pairs, are highly skilled flyers, and you'll find them in diverse landscapes from woodlands to urban areas.
Their special abilities really reflect that agility and aerial prowess. As an aerial master, you can make dive bomb and evade checks with authority.
Ah, okay.
This makes them incredibly difficult targets to hit and formidable in aerial maneuvers. They can zip through challenges where other corvids might struggle. They also receive consistent skill improvements that further enhance their evasive and preening capabilities, along with scare, dive bomb, and fly. Very nimble.
Cool. What about the rook?
Then there's the rook, Corvus frugilagus. These birds are easily distinguishable from other corvids by their grayish-white face, thinner beak, and peaked head. They're a medium-sized bird, highly sociable, often found together with jackdaws. They form these communal colonies of nests known as rookeries, built from twigs and branches high up in trees. Their diet includes carrion, small mammals, birds and eggs, insects, and other invertebrates.
Their gregarious nature seems to be their defining characteristic. Rooks are rarely seen alone and frequently gather in large groups, often mingling with other corvids, especially jackdaws, you said.
Yeah, very social. You'll find them in woodlands, farmlands, grasslands, and even urban areas. Their special abilities are centered around this social nature and their vocalizations, highlighting the power of community.
How does that work in the game?
Well, before making any skill check, a rook can choose to make a sing check. If successful, you draw assistance from another rook, maybe one flies in, and you can then make your next skill check with authority.
Oh, neat. Like calling for backup.
Exactly. Furthermore, in combat, instead of an attack, you can make a sing or signal check, and if successful, another rook will assist you, granting you 2 attacks in subsequent combat rounds. This makes them excellent support characters and master communicators. They get skill improvements in befriend, signal, preen, peck, and fly. Very team-oriented.
Interesting. Okay, now for the big one, the raven.
Next, we encounter the truly impressive raven, Corvus corax. These are massive birds compared to their corvid relatives, often twice the size of a crow. Instantly recognizable by their rough black feathers, sometimes with a subtle blue tint and a distinctive diamond-shaped tail.
Yeah, they're imposing.
Definitely. Ravens typically nest on sheltered ledges or in tree forks, building large nests with their mates from twigs. Their broad diet includes carrion, mammals, birds and eggs, insects, and other invertebrates, reflecting their adaptability.
Despite their intimidating size, the source says ravens can be great allies if befriended, and are even open to forming bonds with other creatures. I found that fascinating for such a powerful creature.
Me too. They are exceptionally powerful and highly intelligent, though they tend not to travel far from their nests. You can find them in diverse habitats: woodlands, farmlands, urban and suburban areas, coasts, and famously the Tower of London.
Of course, and their abilities.
Their special abilities are truly impactful, particularly in conflict. At the start of combat, a raven can ruff your neck feathers to make a scare check with authority. A success here means you make every subsequent attack during that combat with authority.
Whoa. Immediate dominance.
Pretty much. Furthermore, they can make any social interaction checks with authority, making them powerful persuaders or intimidators in any social scenario. They also gain skill improvements in peck, fly, befriend, and scare. A real powerhouse.
Definitely sounds like it. And finally, the jackdaw.
Finally, we have the agile jackdaw, Corvus monedula. These are among the smaller relatives of the crow. What they lack in size, though, they more than make up for in social skills and determination. They are easily identifiable by their distinctive silver-gray hood and striking pale eyes.
Quite distinctive.
Very. Jackdaws commonly nest in chimneys, cracks in brickwork, rock crevices, or tree holes. Their diet includes insects, young birds and eggs, fruit, seeds, and various scraps, making them highly versatile foragers.
Jackdaws are incredibly sociable, you mentioned. They readily form friendships with other birds, animals, and even humans, often communicating with other species using eye contact to convey emotions or locations.
Yeah, very communicative. They also have a strong sense of social status within their groups, with paired birds considered of higher rank. And intriguingly, the source material notes that same-sex marriages are not unusual, and in any relationship, both partners are considered equals. A really progressive detail for a bird.
Huh. That's really interesting.
Isn't it? They thrive in woodlands, parks, coastal areas, and urban environments. Their special ability is centered on their agility and small stature. They're a small target. Whenever you are hit by an attack, you can choose to make an extra evade check with authority and not take any injuries if you succeed.
So they're hard to hit.
Extremely nimble and hard to damage in combat. They also gain consistent skill improvements in befriend, mate, signal, evade, and sing, making them excellent at social maneuvering and self-preservation.
So, as you can hear, each corvid type offers a truly unique starting point for your adventure. Which one would you choose to embody? Would you be the resilient problem solver, the nimble aerial master, the cooperative team player, the formidable intimidator, or the cunning socialite? The choice profoundly impacts the narrative you'll weave and the challenges you'll face.
And once you've chosen your corvid, the next critical step in creating your unique narrative is deciding on the world they inhabit. The rulebook explains that each setting grants some extra abilities to your corvid at each life cycle stage, as well as having a unique map and prompts for locations, objects, objectives, and characters.
So the environment isn't just a static backdrop, it's an active participant in your story. It influences your capabilities and the very nature of the challenges you'll face.
Precisely. Your chosen world profoundly impacts your corvid's abilities and the challenges they face. And for those who prefer not to draw their own maps, the publisher, Critical Kit, offers downloadable maps for each setting, which is a fantastic resource for visualizing your adventures.
That's handy. Let's really paint a vivid picture of these unique settings then. Move beyond simple descriptions to highlight their narrative flavor and how they shaped your corvid's journey.
Okay, let's do it. We begin with Urban Crow. This is a contemporary setting where you navigate life in the modern city. In this bustling environment, the usual urban inhabitants, foxes, cats, cyclists, pedestrians, can be either friends or foes. Your daily life revolves around the constant scavenge for food and finding a safe place to build a nest, maybe on a car park roof or in an old park oak tree.
Sounds like survival amidst the concrete jungle.
Exactly. It's a game of survival and adaptation amidst the relentless hustle and bustle of human civilization, where every discarded crumb is a treasure and every shadow holds potential threat or opportunity.
The life cycle impacts here sound really clever for an urban bird, reflecting its journey from vulnerability to mastery. As a fledgling, you're still new to flying, right? So until you complete your first objective, you have to make a fly check each time you take off and land.
Yeah, and failure results in an injury, making those early flights genuinely perilous. However, your small size makes you a harder target, so all your evade checks are made with authority.
Ah, a trade-off.
Right. By the time you become an old crow, you command the respect of your peers and younger corvids. Help is always available, meaning all checks you make are with authority. It's a compelling journey from a vulnerable novice to a commanding elder of the city.
A real urban survivor story. Okay, what's next? A bit different, I imagine.
Oh yeah. Then we leap into the far future with Cybercrow. This is a world where you connect to the feathernet and use your electronically advanced brain to trade information and help your crew stay ahead of other data smugglers.
Feathernet, love it.
Hey, yeah. Here, you can enhance your natural corvid skills with cyber implants, such as bionic eyes and robotic limbs, transforming into a feathered, futuristic hacker. Imagine a crow with bionic eyes scanning for data packets, or robotic limbs allowing for enhanced flight maneuvers. It's a blend of nature and high tech.
So your body becomes the interface.
Pretty much. The technological advancements are meticulously woven into your progression. As a fledgling, you get a geolocation chip for navigation, which is great, but it has a risk. Until it fuses correctly, it can malfunction, causing injury on failed used tool checks.
Growing pains, textile.
Kind of. As a juvenile, you gain significant implants like a mechanical wing, greatly improving fly, dive, bomb, and evade skills, and a bionic eye, enhancing search and navigate abilities. By the time you become an old crow, you are a master hacker with a big reputation, with a wide range of augmented corvids to call upon, granting you authority on all checks. High-tech, high-stakes game of information and digital dominance.
Sounds intense. What if you prefer something darker?
For those who prefer a darker, more mystical atmosphere, there's Gothic Crow. In this setting, nefarious beings ply their trade under the cloak of a mist that covers the lands. Your role might involve protecting humans from creatures of the night, aligning with others who seek to bring light back to a world perpetually shrouded in shadow.
So you're a feathered guardian against the dark.
Exactly. You'll gather vital information in crumbling graveyards, decipher ancient runes, and seek out occult artifacts to help lift curses. It's a constant battle against encroaching darkness, where even a small crow can make a big difference.
How does that darkness affect you early on?
The setting's pervasive darkness impacts your early life in unique ways. As a fledgling, you add a tick to your scare skill, a natural response to the ominous world. But failing navigate checks can result in injury due to the dangerous mist and gnarly branches. Sets a tone of precarious survival immediately.
Right.
As a juvenile, you might make a dark deal with an unlikely ally, a vampire bat, gaining some of their magic abilities, improving befriend, scare, and preen checks, and even gaining combat aid from them. A real test of your moral compass, maybe.
Wow, okay.
By the time you were an old crow, you stalk the shadows and put fear into the hearts of all those who encounter you. With all scare and befriend checks made with authority, you stared into the abyss and learned to wield its secrets.
Very atmospheric. What about classic fantasy?
Next, we have the high fantasy realm of Fantasy Crow. Here, deities, humans, and monsters stalk these lands, presenting a vast tapestry of adventure. You can choose to seek a simple, peaceful life on the fringes of this world, or strive to gain control and influence, either through the sharp edge of the blade, or by searching for lost, magical items.
Classic RTG stuff.
Exactly. That they believe will bring them unstoppable power. It's a world ripe for epic quests, ancient magic, and formidable foes, where your corvid can carve out a legend.
And the progression.
The early challenges involve fundamental survival, but with a magical twist. As a fledgling, similar to the urban crow, you need to make a fly check for takeoff and landing to avoid injury, emphasizing the raw, untamed nature of this world. However, your small size makes all evade checks with authority, letting you slip past larger threats.
Still got that fledgling agility.
Right. When you reach the adult stage, your deeds have been noticed by the higher powers, granting you luck of the gods with boons like ticks to use tool, peck, and sing checks. Plus, you get the ability to make one check with authority in each new map hex you visit. A true divine blessing.
Nice perk.
And as an old crow, you are a legend, with your adventures recited in taverns across the land. You become so battle-hardened and fearsome that any opponent must subtract 3 from all attacks made against you in combat. Truly a heroic narrative arc.
From hatchling to hero. Cool. What else is there?
Then there's the intriguing Clockwork Crow setting. This imagines a steampunk world where humans share the skies with you in their mechanical flying machines.
Ah, airships and goggles.
Pretty much. Your adventures will involve navigating a complex network of airships, traveling between them in search of food, missing allies, helping those in peril. You can even harness the power of steam and mechanics with augmentations that will grant you extra speed and endurance. Think intricate gears, steam plumes, endless sky, the mechanical and the natural intertwining.
How does a crow deal with all that tech?
The Clockwork Crow's journey starts with adapting to a world of human contraptions. As a fledgling, your navigation checks are made with a penalty, as you know little of the wider, complex world of air travel. But again, your small size allows all evade checks with authority against the mechanical hazards.
Learning the ropes. Or gears.
Exactly. As a juvenile, an airship engineer might befriend you, recognize your potential, and gift you steam-powered wings, adding ticks to fly, dive bomb, and evade, and a monocle, adding a tick to search. Physical augmentations that truly change your capabilities.
Getting upgrades.
By the time you reach Old Crow status, you are a master navigator and problem solver, with all your navigation checks automatically succeeding, and you can make all signal and use tool checks with authority. A fascinating blend of natural avian skill and mechanical enhancement.
A master of the skies, indeed. Okay, one more setting.
Finally, we arrive at Ravens of the Tower. This setting is steeped in history and prophecy. The core concept is tied to that ancient saying, when the ravens leave the tower, the kingdom will fall.
Right, the famous tower ravens.
Exactly. This scenario takes place in 1800s London, placing you in a world of intrigue and national importance. Your mission is to protect the realm by stopping would-be usurpers, intercepting clandestine messages, and rescuing your allies. It's a high-stakes game of espionage and political maneuvering, all from the perspective of the tower's most famous residents.
So you're feathered secret agents, basically.
In a way, yes. The Tower Ravens mature into formidable guardians, integral to the state of the realm. As a fledgling, you still face flight challenges fly check for takeoff landing to avoid injury, but your evade checks have authority. By the adult stage, you've become a master of politics and have mastered your own style of combat, adding a tick to all your combat-related skills, a testament to your growing influence and prowess.
Gaining respect.
Definitely. As an old crow, you keep the company of the highest ranks in the establishment, regularly holding court with the monarchy and guiding other ravens. Your vast network allows you to call on help at any time, and whenever you call on an ally to assist, you make any check with authority. It's a compelling journey, from newly hatched bird to crucial guardian of the realm, wielding influence from the shadows.
Wow, that's quite a range of worlds.
As you can see, each world sparks a distinct imagination, offering profoundly different experiences for your corvid. The detailed descriptions in the source material truly help you visualize your corvid's adventure, providing rich flavor text that can inspire your journaling and give you a powerful sense of your place in a vast, unpredictable world.
Okay, so we've talked about what a solo RPG is, who you can be within it, which crow, and where you can live out your story. But how does this all actually work? The game's engine, its rules, the element of randomness. How does it function?
It's elegantly simple, really. It relies on something you likely already have, a standard poker deck. That's 52 cards plus 2 jokers. This deck is your absolute key tool.
The whole game runs on a deck of cards.
Pretty much. It acts as your game master, it generates events, handles skill checks, resolves combat, everything.
That's a clever.
And what's truly fascinating here is the emphasis on accessibility and immediate play. The rulebook explicitly states you don't need to commit them all to memory to start playing. And if you ever find yourself unsure of how to handle a situation, the guiding principle is the rule of cool. Do what works for you and is the most fun.
Rule of cool, I like that.
Yeah, it really underscores the game's focus on creative freedom over rigid adherence to every single rule. Makes it incredibly approachable for new players while still offering depth for seasoned RPG enthusiasts.
Okay, so walk us through the basic gameplay loop. How does a turn or a session unfold?
Right. To start the game, you first mark any location on your chosen map where you'd like your nest to be. You might want to describe your nest and nearby area in your journal, really bring it to life.
Set the scene.
Exactly. Then, you draw a card from the play deck to generate your first objective. pulling from the prompt tables specific to your chosen setting. You can also journal who came to you with this initial objective, setting the scene for your first grand task.
Got your first mission. Then what?
Once that's done, you begin taking turns. And each turn you can take one of several actions. Each action requires you to journal its outcome to build your story. These actions include generating an objective to further your narrative,
Get a new goal.
generating an event to introduce a random element,
Spice things up.
traveling to a new hex on the map, taking flight or landing to navigate your environment, using an object you've scavenged, or taking a combat action against a threat. The variety ensures you're always engaging with the world in different ways, keeping the narrative dynamic.
Okay, let's break those down. Generating objectives.
Generating objectives is a core part of your progression and the driving force of your story. You do this at the start of the game, and then each time you enter a new life cycle stage, or when a specific prompt gives you the opportunity. To generate an objective, you simply draw a card from the deck. Its value and suit color correspond to an entry on the objective prompts table for your current setting.
So it's always tailored to your world.
Exactly. Ensures a fresh, setting-appropriate quest every time, guaranteeing that your adventures always feel relevant to your chosen world.
And event generation. That sounds like where the surprises happen.
That's exactly right. Event generation is where much of the game's narrative surprise and unexpected twists come from. Events are not setting-specific, so the prompts are found in Chapter 4 of the rulebook. It's a universal pool of random occurrences and encounters that can apply anywhere.
How do you trigger them?
To generate an event, you draw a single card and compare its suit color, red or black, and its value to the events table. You then resolve that prompt and journal your experience. What's crucial is that events are often mandatory, particularly when you're moving.
Mandatory.
Yeah, for instance, when in flight and traveling to a new hex, you must generate at least one event before you can move to another hex. And whenever you land in a hex, you must generate at least 2 events before you can take flight again. This ensures a constant stream of narrative developments, keeping your corvid's life unpredictable and engaging.
Keeps you on your toes, or talons, I guess. And you mentioned something about placeholders in prompts.
Ah, yes. This is a really cool detail. Many of the prompts have placeholder text, like object, location, or character. When you encounter these, you simply draw another card against the appropriate table for your specific setting to fill in the blank.
Like Mad Libs for RPGs.
Exactly. It's like a personalized, on-the-fly Mad Libs, generating incredibly unique and often hilarious scenarios that you can never have predicted.
Can you give an example?
Sure. To give you a concrete example of this delightful quirkiness, imagine you're playing in the Gothic Crow setting, and a prompt says, find object and location and give it to character. After drawing additional cards for the placeholders, it might yield something as specific and charmingly macabre as, find a black rose in the study of a troubled writer and give it to the ghost of a mouse.
Huh. Okay, that's brilliant.
Right, this is where the game's sense of humor and narrative creativity truly shine, allowing for genuinely surprising and memorable moments.
Love it. Okay, what about movement and carrying things? Basic crow stuff.
Right, grounding the game in their natural behaviors. The game utilizes hex maps, allowing you to fly between adjacent hexes, offering clear spatial navigation. You have the freedom to spend as long as you desire in any single location, exploring and taking as many turns as you wish. Allows for deep investigation or just, watching the world go by.
And carrying capacity. Crows are always picking things up.
Yeah, but you're naturally limited in what you can carry. Only 2 objects at a time, typically 1 in your beak and 1 in your claws.
Only 2.
Only 2. If you want to pick up a third, you must choose one to drop if you're in flight, or to hide if you're on land. Dropping an object in flight requires a search check with a penalty to find it again, adding a layer of risk. Hidden objects can be found automatically. Many objects grant specific benefits or have limited uses, adding a tactical layer to your scavenging and inventory management. Forces you to make strategic choices about what treasures to keep.
Makes sense. Okay, the real core mechanic. Skill checks. How do those work?
The core of action resolution lies in its skill checks. You make a skill check whenever you're attempting to do something where success isn't guaranteed. For example, simply hopping down some steps wouldn't require a check, but attempting to hop through a thick tangle of briars without injuring yourself definitely would. It's about assessing risk.
Okay.
What's the process?
The process for making a skill check is straightforward and quick. First, you draw 1 card from the play deck. Its numerical value is your target number. Jack's 11, Queen is 12, King is 13.
Got it. Target number.
Then, you draw a second card and add its value to the number of ticks you have, for the specific skill you're checking. You get ticks from your species, setting, and life cycle stage. This total is your attempt score.
Card value plus skill ticks equals attempt.
Right. Finally, you compare your attempt score to the target number. If your score is equal to or higher than the target, you succeed.
Simple enough. What about authority and penalties? You mentioned those.
Right. Those reflect your corvid's innate abilities or current circumstances. If you have authority on a check, maybe from a special ability or an object, you draw 2 cards for your attempt score and use the highest value, significantly boosts your chances.
Advantage, basically.
Exactly. Conversely, if you have a penalty, you draw 2 cards and use the lowest value. Makes success more challenging, represents a disadvantage.
Gotcha. And the skills themselves are grouped into categories.
Yeah, 4 logical categories, reflecting different facets of a corvid's life. First is travel and exploration. This includes fly for aerial prowess, hop for navigating obstacles on land, search for finding hidden things, and navigate for finding your way around the map. Pretty straightforward survival stuff.
Makes sense.
Then you have tools and rituals. This covers a more unique, almost mystical side of corvid behaviors, reflecting their intelligence. Dance is your ability to shake your tail feathers, maybe for displays or distraction. Sing is how well you vocalize and communicate. Use tool is your aptitude for using found objects to solve problems. And preen is crucial for keeping yourself healthy and healing injuries. Vital self-care.
Interesting mix. What's next?
Social interaction governs your relationships. Befriend is your ability to get on the right side of others. Signal lets you call on others for help or warn them. Scare is used to intimidate creatures. And mate determines your suitability for forming a bond with another creature, which can have a big narrative impact.
So, talking, helping, scaring, bonding. Got it. Last category.
Finally, combat handles direct confrontations. Peck is damage with your beak. Claw is using your talons. Dive bomb is that daring aerial attack. And evade is how well you dodge attacks and hide, crucial for survival.
Okay, the pointy bits. So how does combat actually play out?
Given the often dangerous world your corvid inhabits, combat and survival are ever-present concerns. Combat unfolds in a series of rounds, and crucially, you always act first. Gives you a strategic edge.
Always act first. Good to know.
You choose to attack with a skill like peck, claw, or dive bomb. Or alternatively, you can choose to flee if the odds are against you. You calculate your attack or flee score by drawing a card and adding your relevant skill ticks.
Same check system.
Exactly. Then your opponent gets to act, drawing a card and adding their attack or evade score. If your attack is higher or equal to their defense, you inflict an injury. Then it's their turn to strike. If their attack score is higher or equal to your evade score, you take injuries. Back and forth.
And fleeing, how does that work?
Fleeing combat is a tactical option. Instead of attacking, you basically make an evade check against their attack. If your evade score is equal to or higher than their attack, you successfully flee the encounter. Live to fight another day, otherwise you remain locked in the struggle.
Makes sense. And injuries, how bad can it get?
Combat ends when either you or your opponent sustain their maximum number of injuries, or when you successfully flee. Injuries are tracked via 6 injury boxes on your character sheet. Filling all 6 means, well, the game elegantly states that the crows will be holding a funeral for you.
Oh dear. A fittingly dramatic end.
It is. But there's always hope for healing. Once per hex, when you land, you can make a preen check. A success heals 1 injury, lets you mend your feathers and recover.
Good old preening.
Certain event and object prompts also offer opportunities for healing, finding a mystical herb, resting in a safe haven, that sort of thing. And crucially, jokers in the poker deck are incredibly powerful wildcards. True game changers.
Ah, the jokers, what do they do?
Yes, jokers are incredibly valuable. A source of significant narrative moments. When you draw one, you can save it for later, or play it immediately to achieve one of 4 powerful effects. Automatically win 1 combat attack.
Right.
Automatically succeed on 1 skill check.
Also nice.
Heal 2 injuries.
Very useful.
Or discard a drawn card you don't like and draw again for a better hand. They're truly powerful boons. They can turn the tide of a desperate situation or propel your narrative forward.
Yeah, good to have in your back pocket. Or under your wing.
Something like that. And as you play, you'll eventually run out of cards in the play deck. When this happens, you simply shuffle the discard pile back in, creating a new play deck. This mechanic subtly represents the continuous flow of time and the ongoing nature of new challenges. Ensures your story never truly runs out of steam.
Clever way to handle the deck running out. Okay, so objectives drive progression, right, through life cycle stages.
Exactly. As you navigate your corvid's life, completing objectives drives their progression through different life cycle stages. It effectively acts as your leveling up system. You can complete an objective anytime it makes sense to do so, within the narrative finding a specific object, meeting a character, reaching a location. Keeping track of these objectives is key, as they guide your motivations and provide structure to your unfolding story.
And these stages mirror a real crow's life.
Roughly, yes. Your corvid's journey is analogous to leveling up in other RPGs, each stage representing a significant period of growth. You begin as a fledgling, vulnerable but curious, needing 2 objectives to advance to juvenile. From juvenile, you need 4 objectives to become an adult, signifying greater independence. Finally, you need 6 objectives as an adult to reach the esteemed status of an old crow, a wise and powerful elder.
Fledgling, juvenile, adult, old crow.
Right. Each stage brings new skill improvements and abilities, reflecting your corvid's growth and mastery of their world. It really makes your journey feel impactful.
Okay, this all sounds fascinating, but maybe one of the most liberating aspects you mentioned is the creative freedom, especially with the prompts.
Absolutely. Chapter 4 is absolutely brimming with them, prompts for events, objectives, objects, characters, locations. It offers a vast array of possibilities, acting as narrative sparks rather than rigid commands.
Sparks, not chains.
Precisely. The source material is very clear about the intent. The prompts are designed to inspire you, and some are less detailed than others. The more you play, the more you'll find yourself tapping into your own creativity. It's a gentle push to let your imagination soar, guiding you when you need it, but allowing you to fill in the blanks, even beyond what's explicitly written.
And this ties into that your story, your rules, philosophy.
Exactly. The rule book directly addresses this incredible freedom. There may be times when a prompt doesn't make sense to you, or you have a much better idea that will fit your tale. In such cases, run with your creative spirit and forget the prompts until you're ready to use them again.
So you can just ignore a prompt if you want.
It's more than just a suggestion. It's an empowering design philosophy. It's not exactly ignoring the rules, but rather prioritizing creative freedom and narrative consistency. It allows you to tell your corvid's story in a way that truly resonates with you. It emphasizes that the game's ultimate goal is fun and creativity, and if any rule or prompt is hampering that, you should feel comfortable adjusting it. Puts the player's agency and imagination right at the forefront.
Can you give us a few more examples of those prompts just to get a taste of the narratives they can generate?
Sure, let's pull a few evocative ones. From the Fantasy Crow objectives, you might draw this. A necromancer has captured character and intends to sacrifice them at the next full moon, travel to location and attempt to save them. The necromancer can be defeated by a dance ritual whilst holding object.
Defeated by dancing, okay.
Right. Talk about high stakes and incredibly unexpected solutions. Who knew a clever dance could defeat a dark necromancer? Forces you to think outside the box.
Definitely. Another one.
How about a gothic crow object, drawn from the black suits? A pebble inscribed with an eye. Whilst carrying this, all search checks can be made with authority. Simple, mystical, grants a useful power, fits perfectly into that dark, eerie setting, hinting at unseen forces.
Nice. What about an enemy?
For more direct threat, the Cybercrow setting offers characters like an assassin wasp droid, +4/+2/2. This provides just enough detail, its formidable attack, defense, and evade stats to paint a vivid picture of a very specific and dangerous enemy. Instantly sparks a mental image of a challenging encounter.
Yeah, you can picture that buzzing menace.
Or for classic intrigue, the Ravens of the Tower objectives can give you this. The ravens are leaving the tower. Something is spooking them. You suspect character and location is involved. Can you stop them before prophecy comes to pass? Throws you right into the heart of a grand historical conspiracy. Makes you feel crucial to the kingdom's fate.
High stakes indeed. Any quirky modern ones?
One of my favorites comes from the urban crow objects, specifically from the red suits. A mobile phone. For J, Q, or K, you activate the ringtone, spook an opponent, and immediately make the next 2 combat checks with authority.
Using a ringtone as a weapon? Brilliant.
Isn't it? It's such a quirky, modern use for a common human object. These examples truly showcase how the game sparks imagination with just a few words, blending the mundane with the magical, the futuristic with the historical, always keeping the corvid's unique perspective at the forefront.
It really sounds like a narrative engine. Are there ways to tweak the experience further?
Yes, beyond the core experience, the rulebook also includes pro-crow hacks. These are optional experimental rules designed to either add challenge or offer alternative ways to play. Great if you want to deepen your experience or twist the core rules slightly. Lets you tailor the game even further.
Like what kind of hacks?
Well, there are options for multiplayer, for instance. While a dedicated multiplayer RPG for Be Like a Crow is apparently in the works, the rulebook suggests you can already play with more than one person by taking turns and reacting to prompts together.
Share the story.
Right. You could even have a second player act as your corvid's mate or sworn enemy, adding an interesting narrative dynamic. There are also objective limits for a tougher game, where you only have so many open objectives and must replace one if a new one comes up with no open slots. Forces tougher choices.
Makes sense. More challenge.
Injuries can also be made more severe, with rules like a broken wing at low health that prevents flight, truly raising the stakes. And joker limits suggest discarding any jokers you hold when the playdeck is reshuffled, making them even more precious and strategic.
So ways to customize the difficulty and even play together.
Exactly. These pro-crow hacks are ways to deepen the experience or even share it, but the core game itself is already this rich, fascinating narrative engine.
It truly sounds like it blends imagination with structured play, using just that simple deck of cards, a really innovative way to experience storytelling and foster that profound connection with your own imagination.
And that's what we want to leave you with, really, a thought to ponder. Consider the profound connection a solo RPG like Be Like a Crow fosters with your own imagination. What stories are waiting for you to tell? Perhaps from the utterly unique perspective of a creature as ancient, intelligent, and adaptable as the crow.
Yeah.
It's an invitation to step outside your human skin and see the world anew, through the sharp eyes of a corvid.
We definitely encourage you to explore Be Like a Crow, or indeed any other solo RPGs that might catch your eye. There's a true joy of discovery and self-directed narrative waiting for you in those pages.
Absolutely.
That's all for this episode of the Uncanny Valley podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for listening.